Hello, welcome to the Yarn and Yarns YouTube channel. My name is Angela and all of the places you can find me should be linked in the description box just below this video. Welcome to day 10 of the 12 cast-ons of Christmas 2019 series. Only 3 days left to go. That also means I've only got 2 days left of my holiday before I go back to work. Boo. Not boo really, I love my job. Today I am starting the smallest project and the only crochet project in my 12 this year. And I've made a last minute decision to change the project that I'm making. I always intended to include a crochet project and I was going to crochet a shawl pattern, but I couldn't find the right yarn for the pattern that I'd picked out. And also be able to connect that to my friendship theme. So I decided to go completely off my plan and I've picked a different project instead. This might become somewhat of a Christmas tradition because I'm going to be starting a project from the Edward's Menagerie book, and last year one of my 12 cast-ons was Blake. Let me swivel you around. There's Blake, the cute orangutan. This year I am going to have a go at Austin, and Austin is the rhino. Isn't he cute? And I have had this sort of mini skein of yarn in my stash for ages. It is a gorgeous colourway from Spun White Round called Walkers, which was a Walking Dead reference. Here it is. Isn't that gorgeous? And I was gifted this probably at least 5 years ago, and I've been hoarding it and I wasn't quite sure because it's quite a small quantity, wasn't quite sure what to do with it. There's 50 grams here, and yeah, I wanted to do something special with it, but it's quite a small quantity, so just kept hanging on and hanging on. So I've decided to see if I can get an Austin out of the yarn that I have. The pattern notes suggest you need 60 to 100 grams. You make the worsted weight size animals. So I'm going to be a tad short with this 50 grams, but I figure I will have just some grey to finish some things off. So what I am planning on doing is I'm going to make the head and make the body, see how much yarn I've got left. And then my thoughts are, obviously the horn is in white anyway, a different colour. I might do mine in perhaps a fun colour to match one of the flecks in the yarn that I have. But I figure I might do the ears and then maybe the bottoms of the arms and the feet in just a plain grey colour. And you might not be able to see in the basket behind me, just poking out there where my thumb is, I've got some Rowan felted tweed Aran. Use a little bit of that to put with this. I'm kind of intrigued to see how it's going to look with a speckly yarn in these colours, and I figure worst case scenario I can just rip it out if I don't like it. So yeah, last minute change of plans, but I'm really excited to get working on this project. We'll see how far we get. I have got not much time at home today. I'm going to see a friend of mine for a few hours this morning, and I'm going to see Julia, who is Mindful Magpie, and so I have decided to use this gorgeous project bag that I purchased from Julia to house my Austin. It's going to be the perfect size for my yarn and my crochet hook yarns in there, still plenty of space. So yeah, go check out Julia, she's Mindful Magpie. And today we're going to have a go at a different kind of fibre craft, but I might tell you about that in another video. Maybe I'll put in a little sneak peek in the in-betweeny bit after my section here this morning, we'll see. So yes, that may mean that there's only small progress on Austin, but he's quite a small project and he's not as fiddly as Blake with all that sort of loopy stitch business going on. So hopefully he will be on and off the hook in a fairly timely manner. We shall see. I am back. Happy New Year. It's the 1st of January today. Oh, wasn't 2019 a year? I know today in effect is just another day, but it's quite nice to draw the line under 2019 and wish for better things to come in 2020. So fingers crossed. I hope everyone out there has a happy and healthy year ahead. So I'm back to report my progress on Austin, who is no longer Austin, but more on that in a little bit. First off, I need my glasses. I've got a little list to read from to update you with what everyone else has been working on. So the lovely Lottie is casting on a headband, which sounds really lovely and cosy, and I think she said she's making it in black, so that should be a really nice practical piece to wear all the time, shouldn't it? Tracy has made it to 7 cast-ons and has stalled a little bit. She's not sure if she's going to carry on, and I completely understand that. 7 is amazing, well done, but it's quite a lot for many people. You're not alone, Tracy. Martha also left a comment to say that she'd hoped to do the 12, but she's kind of stuck on 4 and then started to feel a bit panicky, and that is totally not what this is all about. So have fun, cast on as many projects as you like. 100, I don't mind. You're all joining in with me, and that is the main thing. I really appreciate your company on this 12 cast-ons journey. So yeah, get your projects over in the Ravelry group if you want to join in and have a chance of winning a prize at the end of the cast on along. My friend Lucy left a comment to say that she will be having a new grandbaby in 2020 to knit for, so that's really exciting. Congratulations to you, Lucy, and your lovely family. My friend Lisa and her son have been designing a hat from the Tin Can Knits Strange Brew book, and I'm really excited to see that. I can't wait to see what design you've come up between you, and what a fun project to do a little collaboration and design that together. So yeah, can't wait to see when you bring that into the shop to show me at some point in the new year. The lovely Chris has not been feeling very well. I do hope that you feel better soon, Chris. Sending lots of love to you. But she has managed to cast on and cast off, and it's a snap hat, so brilliant, well done. And yeah, I hope you're on the road to recovery. Michelle has managed to cast on 6 shawls and 2 scarves so far, and is still looking for that elusive jumper pattern that she wants for her sweater quantity that she bought back near the beginning of this cast on journey. Kathy, who is Mountain Pearl, has been working on her So Faded, which is a whip, while she plans some new projects for the new year. So I hope you manage to get through your So Faded soon. And Kathy so very generously gifted me the Ursa pattern by Jacqueline C. Slack over on Ravelry. It's a really cute, if you haven't seen it, it's a really cute cropped sweater in bulky weight yarn, and I've seen loads of versions of it, and it's really cute. It's been on my wish list since the pattern came out, so thank you so much for that, Kathy. And I think I have some yarn which, if I hold double, might be perfect for that sweater. So once I get some of these projects off the needles, then that will definitely be next on the cast on horizon. So thank you so much for your generous gift. Oh, my friend Lou said that she had to rip out her Christmas Eve cast on because she made a mistake. So we've all been there, we've all done that. It's a bit of a pain when it happens, isn't it? But yeah, frog it, rip it out, you know, rip that band-aid off and cast it back on, get going again. I'm sure you will do it perfectly the second time round. And then the lovely Tina, who is Crafts by the Rose here on YouTube, is planning on starting her cast-ons. She is a crocheter in the main. She says she's going to make a jacket for herself, which is really exciting. And she's also going to make some doilies and some earrings. She's got on her YouTube channel, she's got a couple of tutorials, I think, for making these really fun crochet earrings. Can't wait to see what projects you work on, Tina. Okay, so time to confess how my Austin, who is no longer Austin, is doing. I am still working from this book. So in the little sort of in-betweeny montage, you would have seen that I spent a lot of the day out of the house yesterday. I went to my friend Julia's, who is Mindful Magpie, over on Instagram, and we did some weaving which was really fun. It took me a while to set up this loom and get going, but we just had a really fun few hours, and Julia's got this amazing frame loom that was her granddad's. You can see more over on our Instagram feeds if you're interested in that, and I will chat more about it probably next week when I go back to doing my weekly videos. But anyway, when I came home in the evening, I settled down to start my project for the day, and I worked up the body. I'll show you. So if you're not familiar with the Edwards Menagerie book, at the beginning of the book there are a few sort of standard shapes for, you know, bodies and heads, and then some of the patterns kind of veer off that standard and you get all these, you know, amazing details thrown in. So the Austin, let me just refresh you, the Rhino, there he is, has a standard body pattern. So I hooked that up with this lovely yarn that I was gifted from Spun Right Round. So here is the body all finished and stuffed, and I love how this has turned out with that Spun Right Round yarn, with these lovely little flecks of the green and the purple. But it was the flecks of the green that got me thinking, so I picked up the book to look at what I needed to do for the head, and it flipped open at this page. So this is Georgina the hippo, and all of a sudden what popped into my mind, this is how my mind works, a little insight into Angela's mind, which you may or may not want. But all of a sudden I was reminded of pictures that I'd seen, film that I'd seen of hippos wallowing, and I'd seen, I can't remember if it was a picture or a film, but I seemed to have this image of a hippo wallowing in either a river or a pool with sort of like green algae, and sort of like the hippo emerging through that algae and having, you know, these strands of green plants and stuff dangling from them. And I guess the green in here sort of was reminiscent of that, and I thought, oh, maybe with the purple would be some flowers, if there was some lily pads or something in this imaginary pond that my hippo, which is meant to be a rhino, is now wallowing in. So yeah, I decided to completely switch tacks and make Georgina instead, and luckily the body for the rhino and the hippo were exactly the same. So I veered off, and I've also made the rhino head. So Georgina has body and head. So yeah, that's as far as I've got. Austin is now Georgina. He's no longer a rhino, he's a hippo. What can I say? I have this much yarn left, which is probably maybe about half of what I started with. I'm not convinced it's going to get me 2 arms, 2 legs, ears, etc. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to make the ears next, because I would like them to match the head. And then I shall weigh out what I've got left and probably make an arm or a leg, and then weigh it again and see what I think I'm going to get. Probably needs to bring in a bit of that sort of plain Aran grey that I was talking about, to maybe make the bottoms of the arms and the legs. We shall see. That is something for me to figure out for next time. So yeah, Georgina the hippo in pieces, in my lovely bag from Julia, my friend Julia, Mindful Magpie, perfect for keeping all of that together. Anything else to note? Oh, I didn't end up using the recommended hook size. So the recommended hook size in the pattern book is a 3, and I searched high and low, and I literally could find all of my crochet hooks apart from my 3. Surprise, surprise. Serves me right for changing my project last minute, doesn't it? From the shawl that I was going to make to one of these little cuties. So I went with a 3.5. I'm using that for my crochet granny stripe blanket, which is in the basket downstairs. So it was 2-hand, easy to grab. So that's one modification that I made. But aside from that, I'm following the pattern as is. I noticed over on Instagram that Martin, who is Welsh tenor, who's also been joining along in the cast-ons, his last cast-on was also a project from the Edwards Menagerie book yesterday, so great minds think alike. So yeah, day 10 has come to an end. Time for me to start thinking about my next cast-on. I've only got 2 left. So until I get to see you again, I hope that you get to do some of the things that you enjoy. Great big woolly hugs to you all. Bye for now.